Welcome everybody to episode 12 or 13. I've lost count at this point. Today we'll be discussing COVID conspiracies. And upon our research, there have been many COVID conspiracies.
So many different theories going around.
So many different theories, some more sillier than others.
Some more believable than others.
Yes, I agree. Let's just dig right into it, shall we?
Right, let's start with the 5G theory.
Yes, the 5G.
This theory was started by memes saying that the virus is spread through 5G.
Yeah, exactly. However, how is that even possible?
I know, how?
Yeah.
That's like saying, oh yeah, the flu is like spreading through my phone.
It's not even theoretically possible, right?
Yeah.
5G and COVID virus is two antithetical things, completely different, right? So basically it's sprung by a meme, and this is kind of foretelling the how of people aren't really taking this seriously, this conspiracy, right?
And mind you, there's COVID in countries that don't have 5G.
Yeah.
Or even 4G for that matter.
Exactly. Anyways, it got to the point where the World Health Organization, right?
Literally had to
address it.
And be 5G won't do any harm.
Wouldn't even consider it to be factual whatsoever.
All right, theory number 2.
Theory number 2.
This is where it gets a bit, what is going on inside some people's heads?
Okay, yeah.
So the second theory is that Bill Gates is behind everything.
Ah, of course, right?
Yeah.
So just because he's rich, right?
The reason that this theory started is because a video clip of Bill Gates sprung up. And it was a video of him in 2015 talking about the Ebola virus and the whole outbreak there. And in this, I think it was on a TED Talk, he basically was saying there's a bigger and worse pandemic coming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, he knew about COVID and
man.
blah, blah, blah.
People will literally take two words someone famous would say.
They twist it around.
And they'll be like, look at that. See that guy that said that one particular word in 1985? Oh, and
he
just
started
go crazy.
it.
Yeah.
So people are saying Bill Gates started
COVID-19.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and what were his intentions?
So they're speculating that this was part of his master plan.
Of course.
To vaccinate everyone with a microchip.
Yeah.
And monitor their thoughts and where they're going and stuff like that.
Do you know why he wants to do that?
Apparently it's so that he can control us eventually.
It's because he wants to know when I go to the loo and what time I have a shower. Because clearly Bill Gates really cares about that.
He wants to know, Waleed scratched his head at 7:42 p.m.
Exactly. Come on, man. It's how do people believe this stuff? Not to critique people, but...
Rich people are evil.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Or some, yeah.
But
that's too far.
They didn't care about what you're doing.
Bill Gates doesn't have time to know what 7 billion people are doing at the same time. He doesn't care enough.
And something that kind of added fuel to the fire was there was a documentary called Plandemic, and it suggested that the elite used their power to profit from disease. Bill Gates basically had to refute the claims made against him. But this same documentary was saying how rich people benefited so much from the pandemic. For example, Amazon.
Right. Stock prices.
Stock prices, people ordering more, other people were losing their jobs. Basically, these people were just getting richer. So the rich get richer and the poor
Jeff Bezos, he planned this. The stock market for Amazon's increasing, going through the roofs.
Yeah.
It must be their intention.
This documentary Plandemic also hinted that the vaccine is going to kill millions of people.
Yeah.
And a study was done in America where 1 out of 3 people in America said that they wouldn't get the vaccine ever.
Wow.
At the current time when we recorded this video, America is about 56% vaccinated only.
Okay, yeah.
And they had access to the vaccine before everyone else.
But America's huge.
Oh, it's huge.
So to be fully vaccinated 56% with a lot of Americans being so good, all about their freedom of speech and all that.
Millions probably.
The Second Amendment, you know how they're all...
Their freedom.
Their freedom.
Yeah.
Good, it's a good outcome. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
So far we've got blame 5G and blame Bill Gates.
Yes.
Do you want to talk us through the third one?
Sure. Third one is that the virus COVID-19 escaped out of a China lab. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
In Wuhan, China.
In Wuhan, China.
The reason people believe this theory is because COVID, we all know, started in Wuhan, China.
Yeah.
Wuhan, China is also the home of a huge virology institute, which is basically a giant lab where they study different viruses. And this one in particular happened to study different bat viruses, specifically coronaviruses, because there are multiple. SARS, coronavirus was a different pandemic like ages ago. Anyway, so they used to study stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when this claim first, I guess, started, the workers kind of were like, oh crap, like, could this be possible?
And then basically what happened from there is the virologist freaked out and started testing her own samples, right?
Yeah.
And she told the public, or she claimed that all her samples
were negative.
Yeah,
and
were negative.
They weren't a match for COVID, pretty
That's
much.
right.
She's been working there for years. So all those samples she had to go through.
So she was full on her defense,
And
then Donald Trump hopped on the fence.
Yeah, of course. And it's very unprofessional for a president.
Oh, man, 100%. Like, for the US government to be like, oh, yeah, it was manufactured in a China lab, and to make that claim.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm pretty sure that's, like, all the claims that he used to do is why he got banned from Twitter. Like,
I remember that. That's right. Yeah, because they're just so unprofessional from a US president.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, so he hopped on the fence, and the virologist was pretty much like, hey, look, World Health Organization, you can bring any member into my lab and inspect it yourself. Like, that's how, I guess, confident she was.
So, this theory was also started by a documentary called The Epoch Times. And the virologists actually had to, like, go and, like, get interviewed and speak in great detail about how the COVID virus could not possibly come from their lab.
And just on the back of that, apparently 3 out of 10 believed that it was manufactured in China, 23% believing it was intentional, and 6% believing it was accidental.
Yeah, like it was accidentally released.
Yeah, released.
And you know what? Some Americans actually believe it was even created as a biological weapon as well.
My goodness.
So the theory's just, one theory leads to 10 theories at this point.
It just expands. What a crazy weapon.
Now, after China received a lot of blame, they thought, you know what, let's strike back.
Yeah.
Fourth theory that we're discussing is how some people believe that the US military actually brought the COVID virus into China. And after all this anti-China stuff from, like, Trump and stuff.
Too much China hate.
They basically turned the blame back onto the US. And I think it was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, or the spokesman for Foreign Affairs, something like that, tweeted that it was possible that the US military brought the virus into Wuhan. Now, the reason that he's saying this is because the US military was in China 2 months before the virus started. China, like, loved this theory. It kind of was, like, huge in China. Like so many people believed it. Yeah. Because, it takes the blame away from them. China actually even attempted to rename the virus the USA virus.
God, you're joking.
Yeah.
Really?
Imagine if it wasn't called COVID-19 and everyone was just like, hey, my friend tested positive for the USA virus.
Oh my God. For context, because Donald Trump kept calling it the China virus, right?
Yeah, exactly. And China was like, screw this guy.
What? No
Trump
offense
virus.
to these leaders, but both of you guys are just losers.
Petty.
So childish. Both playing such a childish game. It's like, oh, it's the US. Oh, it's China. It's like, how about you be a man and own up to responsibilities? One of you guys know who did it, right?
Someone
knows.
Yeah.
Be a man and just own up, man.
Because you know what? It is really, really difficult to believe that this whole thing, the whole world being in lockdown,
started from one
person.
guy who ate a bat or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I don't.
There's something going on.
But this massive 2-year international impact from one man eating a bat, if you had told me that 3 years ago, I would be like laughing.
Yeah, okay.
There's something else going on.
Yeah, no.
But these theories here, I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that either. Moving on. This is a great theory.
Number 5.
COVID-19 doesn't exist. It's made up, and it was backed up by the likes of Alex Jones and David Icke. And look,
and these guys are professional conspiracy theorists.
So that's
whatever that is.
Great occupation. Basically, another word for saying
Someone who starts SHIT.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I'm not going to diss him, but who knows what their opinions are now. I'm sure as COVID has progressed, their opinions has changed and they've taken it more seriously now.
At this point, everyone knows someone who has had COVID.
Who has had COVID or who has, gotten really sick from COVID, induced coma, or even passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
But to say that the virus doesn't exist is a complete disrespect for those who have been hurt from the virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really sad. Or like even the people that are like, it's just the flu.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's what these professional theorists back in the day, or even some now, were saying that, it's just like the flu. When, look, we have enough evidence to know it's much worse.
The flu doesn't kill this many people.
Exactly. Yeah. It's much worse than the flu.
Look, spread this easily.
Exactly. You can pinpoint at different countries and see the mass, amount of deaths that have happened.
Definitely.
So we've got evidence of that. We know it's not like the flu.
So what they believe is kind of similar to the Bill Gates theory. They believe that COVID is a plan made by the elite to take away our freedoms.
Yes, of course.
As if the elite cares. If I am more than 15 kilometers outside of my house.
Look, I will say maybe there is some elite stuff going on where they want control. Okay, look, I will believe that theory. I'll be on board. I'll be open to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the whole shenanigan of they want to put some wrap around your ankle so they know where you are at every single second of your life. Or they want to put a tracker in your arm. Stop. It's just too much.
These are the same people that are going to all these anti-lockdown protests and just really spreading the virus as well. And actually, literally, going back to our point on how COVID is no worse than the flu, Trump also tweeted that multiple times that, it's just like the flu, it's just like the flu. Yeah. And then when SHIT hit the fan in America, he was actually interviewed and said he was downplaying it because he was downplaying the seriousness of the virus so people wouldn't stress.
Of course, yeah. God, come on, that makes no sense. It's wouldn't you want to make your community more aware of the seriousness so they can
deadly it is.
Adhere to lockdown rules? If they take it more serious?
They have their First Amendment freedom act.
Our freedom, yeah, of course. Number 6 is COVID is a plot by Big Pharma, which is the biggest pharmaceutical. Is that correct?
Biggest pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
Basically, the theory is that they want people to get sick and then come and buy more drugs and medication from them.
Yes.
This theory was also started by Alex Jones, the professional conspiracy theorist.
So silly.
But this guy is actually insane. He talks about things like the New World Order and stuff like that, as if we're in Star Wars or something.
Yeah. Star Wars, yeah.
And he also sells miracle pills that cure all diseases.
Nice.
Like vitamins or minerals or whatever.
Right.
So him and this other guy, Dr. McCullough.
Lol. Okay.
So this Dr. McCullough also supports this theory and is selling vitamins too that apparently cure COVID.
Right.
And both of these guys, their business basically relies on everyone not trusting these big pharmacy companies.
So they can make all the profits.
Which makes sense as to why they're blaming them. They want people to not trust them and trust in these miracle pills.
Yeah. So they can make all the sales pretty much. Wow.
And I guess, these days, a quick way to get popularity or fame or clout is to be very controversial.
Yeah.
So for them to be saying weird stuff like this, and actually this Dr. Miracola or whoever it is, that supports this theory is a doctor that's anti-vax and anti-abortion and things like that.
Yeah.
And he was actually banned from Google for misinforming the public and saying that his pills, I don't know, cure cancer when really they're just vitamin C or there's no evidence behind anything that they're doing pretty much.
Okay, theory number 7. COVID death rates are inflated.
I don't know about this one because I have heard that people are dying of COVID. Are just dying of natural causes and they're
putting the COVID check mark on it. Yeah.
I'm sure there are also people who died of COVID that weren't tested.
Yes.
We don't know. If
That's
it was
right.
COVID or what it was.
Yeah, so
there's a bit of ambiguity.
It kind of nets off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd like to think that they're not falsifying death records.
Yeah.
This theory, I guess, is kind of hinting at, okay, like they're all exaggerated, like the number of deaths, and COVID's not that deadly, which means we can just do whatever we want and we don't have to lock down or social distance.
Yeah.
So this lady named Dr. Annie gave a speech warning about how these deaths are being falsified and the certificates are being manipulated and things like that. And she got so many views on YouTube. So in the YouTube channel, she's like, you know, in a white doctor lab coat
in front of a clinic.
She's got a stethoscope, so she looks really professional. It looks like someone that you would trust and believe, right? Like a medical professional.
Fraud.
She is a fraud.
Absolute fraud.
So the Rolling Stone, basically the magazine,
exposed her, man.
Did some research. They dug deep. They got their like private investigator team. They were like, "Now we got to get to the bottom of this."
Look at them go.
And so they found out that she's an anti-vax person.
Yeah.
And also anti-abortion. But medical professionals like can't be anti-vax. You can't be a doctor and anti-vax. And if you were, you can't publicly announce that.
Yeah.
Or like go against, like, for example, if the vaccine is like mandated. You can't trash talk it.
Exactly.
It's your job
it goes
to
against your own occupation.
It's a code of conduct.
Literally. Also, the Rolling Stones basically said that her claims were not backed up by anything at all. And also that the deaths might actually be understated. Yeah, I get that, because how good are like the death records in every country? Like how thorough are they? Because it's not like everyone who dies gets like a, what's it called when someone dies, they do a autopsy?
Yes, autopsy. It's not like everyone...
I don't even study science and I know science things.
I was going to say otoscope. That's the thing I use to look in people's ears. Anyway, not everyone does an autopsy, so you can't be like, yeah, they had COVID. But then again, you can't prove that they died of COVID and not something else.
That's right. So it's kind of like a sticky area.
Yeah,
like how accurate are the deaths?
There's something called the Centers for Disease Control. And they have a lot of information on their website about like the COVID death numbers, if they're like exceeded or like decreased or whatever. So if anyone wants to check that out, go for it. There were a couple of other conspiracy theories that didn't make our list that weren't too wild. And these are people blaming GMOs, which is genetically modified things like apples or like grapes without seeds.
That doesn't even deserve to be on the list.
So I was just like, you know what? We've been eating things for like years that are like that. Like I'm sure we would have got COVID or something.
That's right.
And another one by our lovely Mr. Trump. So he basically said, and after he said that, people just went wild. He said that if there was no testing, there would be 0 cases.
Dude, I'll tell you, man, Biden will never be as entertaining as Trump. Seriously.
But that's so stupid, because obviously if you're testing more people, there's going to be more cases because people who have it are getting tested. He's
just so dumb.
Ship sinking, might as well enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
It. Speaking of enjoying the ride, I hope you guys enjoyed the ride for this video while you were watching it.
We've been asked to do a COVID episode for a while on our Instagram. Again, if you're not following, boom.
Follow down that. Get onto it right now. And for those that aren't subscribed, my YouTube analytics say that many people that watch our videos don't subscribe. So please get onto it. Hit that red button down below and we'll see you on the next video, whatever it may be about. Hope you guys enjoy it. And until next time,
take care, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.
See ya.
That was really good.
That was good.